Starship Troopers Extermination is a 16-player co-op shooter. You'll be taking down bugs, fortifying your defenses and working with your team to survive. Tell me, Trooper, do you want to know more? Let's go ahead and jump straight into how the game plays. You'll be killing bugs, securing territories, building bases, and finally hauling your ass to the dropship to get the hell off the planet. But before you achieve victory against the bugs, you're gonna need to choose a player class. Now you've got 6 classes to choose from, with them all having their own unique weapons and abilities. For example, you've got the Guardian, who plays as a tank with access to an LMG. Now Guardians can enter siege mode, which adds a layer of protection around you, as well as improving weapon stability. The LMG has a larger mag size, and when you pair it with siege mode, the recoil is barely noticeable. There are Rangers, which are far more squishy in terms of their health, but act as your front of the line trooper. They've got access to an assault rifle, which is the jack of all trades and the master of none. They also have a boost ability which helps get them around the battlefield, as well as evading those pesky bugs. You've also got the medic, who can deploy drones to revive fallen troopers. The medic can also field first aid stations that allow other players to take stims. Now you want to have a good mixture of classes in your lobbies. When you've got no heavy troopers on the field, there's no one to distract the bugs and absorb damage whilst your team takes them out. Having a good medic on the field is just as invaluable, as when the squad starts getting wiped, their revives from distance can come in absolutely clutch. There are 4 game modes you can jump into, with them all being 16-player co-op, apart from Hive Hunt, which only fields 4 players. Now I won't go into detail on all of them, so let's discuss my 2 favourites. First is Advanced and Secure. You'll be travelling to several territories in order to neutralise the bugs and secure the area. This includes killing a certain number of bugs, gathering resources, as well as building structures. Once all of this has been completed, you'll need to build a base and defend against a bug hawk until you can be extracted. Building structures and bases are a core part of the gameplay. You'll need to put up walls to build the perimeter, place your sentry guns in ideal locations, as well as protecting the arc, which is the core of the foundation. Now don't worry, this isn't Minecraft, and the building aspect takes up 5% of your time in game. There is a fine art to the building process though. The ramps should be easily accessible, ammo should be placed next to the sentry guns, and putting an electric fence around the arc is always a good idea. What I'm saying is the better the build, the easier it is to stay on top of the bugs, and you'll want that as they're relentless. The second game mode we'll be looking at is Horde, and this is probably my favourite. If you've ever played Halo's Firefight mode, Gears of War's Horde, or hell, even Call of Duty Zombies, you'll be right at home with this one. You'll have to build a base and protect the mobile headquarters from being damaged. There will be 10 waves of attacks, with each wave increasing the number of bugs, as well as more powerful iterations. Now Horde places a bigger emphasis on the construction of the base, and you'll be able to repair the damage in between rounds. You will be relying on every single member of your team to pull their weight. Horde mode is non-stop action. If you're playing as a medic and the bugs penetrate the base, congratulations, you're now relieved of DPS duties and your sole goal is keeping the team alive. Maybe you're playing as a demolisher and you need that big DPS immediately. Well, you can launch your back-mounted rockets to take out the troublesome tiger bug, preventing the squad wipe. All game modes share some core features. If everyone dies in a non-respawn location, that will be the end of the match. Other players can revive you if you go down, otherwise you'll have to wait to be respawned. The finale to each mission is trying to make it to the dropship to evacuate. Now this is made difficult because loads of bugs will spawn, and they seem to spawn on the entire route back to the dropship. In my experience, not everyone made it back to the ship, and I had to pay tribute to some of my fallen troopers. If you do get back to the ship, you can help your other teammates by providing them with some cover, although their survival isn't guaranteed, baby. Since the game revolves around the bugs and how many of them you can kill, let's discuss the adversity that you'll be presented with. So there are 9 different types of bugs, and I can keep it simple by saying the bigger they are, the harder they are to kill. But this is a review, so I'll go into a bit more detail just this once. You've got your standard bugs called warriors that aren't too difficult to kill and don't do that much damage, but they can kill you with their numbers, as these guys, as well as the bugs in general, will be spamming your screen. You'd think of how many bugs the game throws at you that the frame rate would be all over the place, but it does hold up pretty well. You've got the tiger bugs, who are considerably bigger and can wipe out the team if you let them in melee range. You can ping enemies to other players, and you'll want to let the team know when these guys spawn and get rid of them as soon as possible. There are several other bugs that shoot projectiles like fire and plasma at you, and they also do big damage if you get caught in the blast. There are 3 difficulty settings for each mission in easy, normal and hard. The harder the difficulty that you play on, the more XP that you'll earn. It's a waste of time playing on easy in my opinion. Normal and hard will be your go-tos. Now normal presents a fair challenge. No mission is a guaranteed success, but you don't need to play perfectly throughout the mission to win. But hard really does live up to its namesake and does not fuck around. You can get killed pretty much instantly at times, and I did find myself getting caught in respawn loops where I'd spawn and get killed as soon as I saw another bug. There are also mission modifiers that add to the challenge. Some of these include doubling the bug's health, spawning more bugs, as well as increasing their melee damage. Now, I didn't enjoy missions when bugs did increase melee damage. It just felt cheap getting one shot and having to wait to respawn. You can avoid modifiers before you choose a mission, so if there's a few you don't like, they can be avoided. So what's the incentive to keep you playing? Well, you have a player rank that unlocks additional perk and utility slots, as well as ways to customize your trooper's appearance. You gain XP from completing missions, and this goes towards your overall rank. Each player class has customizable loadouts, with unlocks being earned by playing with that character. You've got a few primary and secondary weapons to choose from, as well as your perks and utility items, but you don't have that many options, and I don't really see the need for changing your loadout that often. The devs clearly have DLC in mind, so they'll need to add more weapons and utilities to stop the gameplay from getting stale. And whilst we're on the subject of DLC, I don't understand why there are no unlockable banners and nameplates. Modern Warfare 2 came out in 2009 and really nailed it with their call sign system. Oh wait, and it was free! All of the banners and nameplates in this game are paid DLC on day one. Now these are cosmetic and it's fine to charge people if they want them, but there definitely should have been a few that you can unlock through natural progression. The game also has companies, which are essentially just clans. I saw quite a few of them that had links to Discords, so if you're looking to form a coordinated team, then this is definitely something for you. Some missions and rewards can only be accessed if you're part of a company. Now I like to keep myself to myself, and I don't want to hear 15 people screaming down their mics, so I gave this a hard pass. But if you want to hear those bottles of Mountain Dew being popped and bags of Doritos being torn, then go ahead and join that company, trooper. Extermination does have some issues though. It's not all bugs and rainbows. The game can be very laggy, especially when you load into a match. Now you can choose which server you want to play on to reduce the lag, but this didn't always make that much of a difference. I lost connection to the server in several games, and you'd have to wait a few minutes to be kicked from the lobby. The game would freeze, all of the bugs would remain stationary, and the audio would crash. Now I can excuse this as a one-off, but this happened several times. On more than one occasion I also got stuck in a wall and had to redeploy to free myself. Enemies can also get stuck in structures, but I don't mind this as it made my job easier. The matchmaking times, they were pretty good to be honest. They would take a few minutes on occasion, but this wasn't very often. Some of the weapon reload animations take way too long. There's ways to speed this up for some of the assault rifles, but not for the heavy weapons. I was killed so many times because I got caught in a lengthy reload animation. I honestly felt like I could go and grab a drink, come back to the PlayStation, and I'd still be reloading. I totally understand the argument for bigger weapons taking longer to reload, but these definitely need to be tuned. The gunplay is great, but is quickly ruined by the frequency and the duration of the reloads. Also, whoever's idea it was to slow the player down when getting meleeed by a bug, I take my hat off to you, good sir. Look, picture this, you're right up shit's creek and being overrun by bugs. Let's give you a nice little debuff to prevent any chance you had of escaping. It's not like they hit you, slow you down, and then you can go again. No. When they hit you, it's GG, and I'm talking GG here, lads. If you've got no teammates around, prepare for your imminent respawn with the quickness. The shadows in this game are also pitch black, and some of the missions at night are way too dark. You can put the brightness up to 100 and it's still too dark. I don't know if this was a console issue, so PC players, let me know if you also got the same thing. Look, I don't want to give the impression like this game is riddled with bugs, pardon the pun. As a whole, I enjoyed the game. Apart from the occasions where the game lagged, I was impressed with the performance. There seemed to be over 100 bugs on my screen at times, and the game maintained a steady frame rate. The game also looks good from a graphical perspective. The gameplay was fun, I liked the maps, and I really enjoyed the 16-player co-op. Extermination cost me £40 or $50, and I am happy with that price point, especially since I got a physical copy of the game, and as it's an online multiplayer title, you do have plenty of replayability factor. Before I give my rating of the game, let's see what the reviewers had to say. Metacritic gave the game an average score of 68, OpenCritic gave it a 66, and it's currently positive on Steam, although recent reviews are mixed. Now I think these ratings are accurate, but I clearly enjoyed the game a little bit more, and I'm giving it a 7. Extermination is currently being held back by lag, bugs, and disconnection issues. When the game isn't being hampered by these problems, it's a fun game and I definitely recommend it. Ladies and gents, subs and non-subs, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. You've heard it all a million times. All of my socials can be found in my description. And remember, I'll never be a real YouTuber until I've released an apology video. Or two. That's all guys, peace out.